Hello world, I'm back, and today I have something different for you. Because today I'm gonna work on something that I've done before, so I already know how it's gonna work. I've already written this code. I'm just gonna write it all over again for you because this is really fun part of my website. So let me just open it up here. Let me get the window here. So that's my website, and the thing I'm doing today, let's actually run it locally first. Okay, things running. All right. So the thing I'm doing today is these images here. Let's take a look at this image. You can see here that this image is being hotlinked from Notion. That's a bit of a problem for a couple of reasons. First, we don't know how slow or fast Notion hosting might be. Second, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do that. I think if I cause a lot of traffic on these links, they might have a problem with that. And third, this image can go away for some reason. I don't know, like they might change their URLs or something might change. They might change their mind about hosting these images like that. So I cannot rely on this link here. See, it goes to Notion and it's just not something I can rely on. So let's just take a look how this image is being generated. I got a file here called post list item, and let me just see here. How does that work? So this is an item in the list of your posts. Let's look for image. Here it is. This is the image. So it goes like, if there's an image, we'll just use that as background image. Where does the image come from? It comes from my own post object right here. So it means I had prepared this before, and let's just figure out how I prepared this post. Okay, so I got post object. It has like icon and cover properties. Let's just see where these came from. So if I go to helper somewhere, I think right here we got post from Notion block. That's the thing that converts a Notion object into my own post object that looks like this. You can see it returns either post or null. So anyway, let's look for these images here. See, we got icon and cover. So this is the URL that would be on the Notion object, page icon, page cover. And this is a helper we're calling URL from Notion image. So if we look at this definition, it goes like this. All right, so here's what it does. Let's print this out. Image URL is that. So it prepends this URL to this variable. So what's in this variable? Let's take a look really. I think it might be printed out where. Okay, here we go. So the original URL is that. And so that means this is a link to Amazon S3. If I go to this link, access denied. That means their links are supposed to be used internally, but they offer this proxy here. So you go to Notion so/image/that URL, and it proxies the link from their private storage and returns an image. I think it does some resizing and stuff like that too, if you need it to. So the thing we want to do now is we're going to build a similar proxy on top of this that will go. So we'll go to our own server. We'll pass in this entire link as argument, and we'll do some caching there. So what I really want to do is, well, I'll just explain. You open, or I'll just take an example like this. You will go to URL such as https something notion focusmark.workers.dev. This is the Cloudflare Workers thing /image/, and here it'll be the link to Notion so/image/ and this will be the link to like AWS storage, I don't know, whatever, right? So it's kind of complicated, but basically my worker will load, it'll load this part, and if it exists, it'll copy it into Amazon S3, my own S3 storage, then it'll return it. So we'll just get right to implementation. So first thing I want to do here, let's see, we'll just implement this endpoint. So I'm gonna switch to another project, Notion API Worker, and you've seen this before in one of the first videos I did in this series. So here's all it does. This is the basic router here for this guy. We just took this from, if you Google Notion-API-Worker, you'll see it. It's a really cool thing. It's Cloudflare Worker that will load stuff from it'll load stuff from Notion, and it'll parse it, and it'll return some nice structured JSON. So, you know, that's what we use for like Notion pages, tables, and so on. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna add another router.get, and we'll go /image/ and this will be image URL, and it'll be linked to image route. All right, so image route, here we go. I don't know what's going on here, but here we're gonna import the image route from another file. But what's going on here is strange. Well, I don't know. I'll just remove that line. How about that? All right, looks like this file is okay. Is it? It is. So that's great. So this file doesn't exist yet. Route/image. We got all the routes here. Actually, it does exist, but it's empty. Okay. So we need to create a whole new route. So this file should export image route. Let's see what route looks like. It looks like this. It's an async function that takes something called handler request, and after doing a whole lot of work, it returns a result of create response, which is what? Okay, so this is just a helper that returns a response. So we're gonna do something like that, something very similar. We're gonna start off by doing export async function. Well, actually, no, we wanna look at more like our own code. So we'll do const page route equals async function with request being handler request. And let's just return null for now, see what happens. Nothing happened, but okay, so this imported handler request from where? API/types, interesting. So, okay, looks like, whoa, interesting. Interesting, okay, that's fine. This is our own type in this project. I'm a little bit surprised. I thought this would be like a built-in Cloudflare type. But a lot of things here. Okay, never mind that. Important thing is to make it work. So we got a handler request, and we'll return a response. We'll just build a response. How about that? New response and some body, and we'll do status of 200. Okay, this should be exported. So now if we go to index, okay, I'm sorry, it should be image route. All right, so now it was imported successfully, and looks like it worked here. Like the compiler isn't complaining now, so that's good. Let's get this to run. Let's do yarn dev. Okay. So let's go over to this URL. So this is my Notion worker endpoint. This route isn't defined, so that's a 404. But if I go to /image/something, I got the response back. So that's great. All right. Second thing we need to do is for this image URL, we'll actually take a link to an image. So what should that look like? That should look like this one. Let me get it here. So this is a working link to an image. Great. So it should be, use it here instead of something, but first I'm gonna do encode URI component. Okay. So this is the encoded link, and we'll just append it here instead of something. I'm gonna copy it. Nope, not like that. Let me just copy it again. Hold up, this is not my encoded URL. Alright, that's better. Good. So let's see if we've been able to get that URL. First, let's just rename this request, and let's do const params equals request. So we just took params out of request, and we're gonna get the image URL. Okay, let me see here. Let's see if we got that. Let's just wait for this to reload. Good, refresh. All right, looks like we got the original image URL. Okay, so what I want to do next is I'm just gonna load this image, see if we can load it successfully. Fetch image URL. And there's one more thing I can do. If I just go to this URL, you can see right here, I can append a question mark with equals and some number, and it resizes it for me. So we're gonna take use of that because some of my images might be big, and I want to size them down a little bit. So right here, as I fetch the image URL, I'm just gonna append with, and for now I'll use 32 or something like that. All right, so this is gonna return some response if we call it through await. So let's see, what else can we do here? Right, so let's just check the response code for now. Response loading image from the source. And let's just print the status code. Let's wait for this to rebuild, refresh. Wait, no, I need to go here, refresh. So, okay, response loading image 200, that's great. So let's just do if condition, if response status equals 200. And if it's not, what I want to do here is just return the response that I received from my original location. If it returns an error, I'm just going to return the same error to the user. So if this was successful, let's, okay, so first thing I can do is we can get data from here. Like that. And now the data should contain, let's just try printing data line. See if it looks like there's an image in there. So the data should contain the actual image. Look at that. That looks like the real image. 3000. Good. Okay, so now that I have the data, if I fetched it successfully, what I want to do now is copy it into my S3 bucket. Before I can do that, I want to do some calculation. I want to create a key that I'll identify this image by, because I don't want to use like the URL in my file name. So I want to turn that image URL into a hash, and then I want to identify the image by that. But first thing I'm going to do is split the image URL into parts, and I'm going to grab the last part, and this should be the image suffix, so like the extension. Let me see if that worked. Are we seeing suffix anywhere? I'm not seeing it printed out for some reason. Wonder what's going on. Or am I not looking right? Let's try. Well, I killed it. Just gonna restart the server. Reload. Not yet. Reload now. Alright, great. So it prints the suffix. It's PNG. That's exactly what I was going for. Alright, now I'm gonna create like a file name to be used on AWS. So first thing, calculate hash. Await image URL. Alright, so I got a256 from helpers. I actually have a helper that will calculate the hash for any what's going on, for any string. I think I just grabbed this off Stack Overflow. You can notice that this guy is using some stuff that are like built in. So we got some crypto call here, and basically it's using things that Cloudflare Workers make available to you without use of any third-party libraries. That's important here. You can, you can just copy it from here if you would like to do the same thing. So I got the hash for this URL, and now, well, I got the hash and I got the suffix. So I think I can do file name that I want to use on my AWS storage. It will be the hash dot suffix. That will be the file name I'll use in my AWS. But now I need the URL to my AWS, and I'm just gonna copy it from another place here, because it's a bucket that I had already created. So here it is. It goes focusmark.s3 and so on slash, well, not key, but file name. And we'll print it too. We'll do file name equals file name. Let's just see what was generated here. And because I ran this script before, there's a good chance that it'll already exist in my bucket. So I'll make sure to clean my bucket before I, where's the URL? I need to print the AWS URL. So I'll make sure to clean my bucket before starting over, because I want to start with a clean bucket. But first, let's see what the URL is. Here we go. So let's see if it exists. It does. It means I had run this code before. I'm just gonna go to transmit, and I'm gonna clean up my entire bucket, because I've been playing with this before. So I'm gonna clean up everything except for my avatar. Alright, let's refresh this one, should be gone. It's gone, great. Alright, so I got the AWS URL. So here's the logic for this script. We generated the URL on AWS. We loaded the image from a Notion, and if we loaded it successfully, we'll want to copy it over to AWS. Now, you might be thinking, how are we gonna do that? Should we just use the AWS library? And no, we should not, because AWS library is not made for the Cloudflare environment. But there is a nifty library that is only using like the modern APIs, and it's not relying on any big third-party code. It's called aws4fetch, which kind of means it's like AWS client to be used with like MDN fetch, like the standard fetch thingy. It's a thing that will be supported by Cloudflare Workers, because Cloudflare Workers are built on top of Chrome browser. So this is what you need, just this, aws4fetch. So we'll just install it. We'll just do kill that, and we'll do yarn add aws4fetch. And I'll just wait for this to install. All right, so that was installed, and let's just follow what I say right here. We import AWS client from aws4fetch. And then we instantiate the client with some access keys. And I don't wanna show you my access keys, so I'll just do this in a different file. I'll create credentials, the TS right here, and I'll do export. I'll do export AWS access key equals something. Const. I'm not gonna tell you just yet, and I'll do AWS secret key equals something, and I'll go here and I'll import these two variables. Import that from source slash. Does it work like that? Probably doesn't, so we'll just do credential. Or should be credential. Yeah, here we go. We'll also copy this guy. So we'll copy these two. We'll just use them right here. So this doesn't complain anymore. And now I'm just gonna open another terminal window here, and I'll put it off screen so you couldn't see. Sorry about that. And I'll just vim my credentials file, and I'm gonna get my transmit. Well, actually, I'm gonna get my 1Password, and I'll copy. So guess what? The funny thing happened, and OBS crashed, but we didn't lose anything. I just started a new recording right now, and we're back. So I'll just switch back here to the code editor, and you can see now that I had already edited my credentials file, and you didn't see it. So I just saw something there, but don't tell anybody. Anyway, I got my AWS keys, and I got my client set up. And this is a really smart thing. You just you just have this AWS object, and it has a fetch method, and you can use this as normal fetch, and it will automatically do the signing on your requests, which means you can just use this as you would. So we're gonna do something extremely simple here. We got the data that we loaded from the Notion image, and we're just gonna say await aws.fetch, and as URL we're gonna use the URL of the image. We'll do AWS URL, and there will be some settings there. So for settings we'll do method put, which means we're gonna upload the data, and for body we'll do the data, and that's the image data that we got going here. And there are a few more things we're gonna have to do, but not yet. What we want to do here is do const response, and we'll print out, actually, let's call it result, and we'll print out the status code from uploading. And we'll do result.status. And by this, we'll try and see if the upload process worked or not. So let me run the server again. Okay, so let's just refresh this one. Okay, something happened. Let's see. Status code from upload says 200. So if we go to transmit now and refresh, it looks like the file was uploaded. Great. Now, it was also uploaded with this really small size, which is fine for now. We'll use something larger later. All right. It was uploaded. So let's see. We don't really need this result here. And now that it was uploaded, we're gonna return response. And this response will contain no content. And what we'll do here is we'll do status is 301, and headers is location and the AWS URL. So what I like to do here, okay, something's wrong, of course. I forgot to say new response. So what happened is once I uploaded the image successfully, I'm just gonna redirect back to the URL of the image in AWS. So my entire proxy thing, I don't actually wanna like make data go through my endpoint. I'm just gonna redirect people to AWS. I want clients to cache, I wanna let AWS take care of all the caching, all that kind of stuff, all the, geographical centers, so like loading from the closest data center you have. I know Cloudflare is doing the same thing. I just want AWS to handle that. So that's why I'm returning a redirect, at least in theory. All right, so we got the part where we successfully download an image from Notion. We upload it into AWS, and then we return a redirection to that AWS URL. So what we want to do now is, before actually loading from Notion, we want to check if it exists in AWS. So here's what we're gonna do to do that. Const existing equals await fetch AWS URL, and for method we're gonna use head, because we don't care about all the data here. We just want to see if it exists. So, and we'll print. Let's just print the status. Existing, and we'll do existing with status. So this will go to AWS, it'll do a head request, and it'll see if that file exists. Oh, I got 403, that's interesting. I know why, because it's not available to the world. When we had uploaded it, we'll just take a look here, but yeah, read only owner. So if we change this to world now and save, and if we try that again, we got 200, which means it exists. Okay, but the first thing we need to fix is this upload process. We don't want to upload with owner only access. We want to upload with everybody can see it. So when we do upload, first we're going to set up some headers. And the default header we're going to add, and I've done this before so I remember it, otherwise I'd have to look it up, but we're going to set up ACL and set that to public read. And that means all new files will be uploaded with like world access by default. So let's go to AWS now and delete this file. Let's make sure it's gone. Refresh. Good, it's gone. So now if we upload again, it shouldn't be uploaded with world access. So let's refresh. Let's have it upload. Oh, it looks like it gave me existing status 200. Well, that's strange. It shouldn't exist. Let's take a look here. Oh, very interesting. What just happened? Looks like it was uploaded and it's set up to be read by world, so that's correct setup. But this guy should not have returned a 200 by default. So that's kind of weird. Let's just stop right here after my checking for head. Let's return right here and let's see what the status will be now. If I go and make sure it doesn't exist, I want to be 100% sure that this status is not 200. And I'll print here, checking for existing AWS URL. Refresh. Let's see here. Okay, 403. That's good. If I go here, I get access denied because the file doesn't exist, so I'm getting access denied. It should be 404, but 403 is also good. Alright, so this is what happens if the file exists. Actually, we're not there yet. Now let's just kill that. Alright, so we've been able to upload with the correct. Let's just make sure that we're still uploading first. Let's refresh. Now it should be uploaded again. Let's make sure it was uploaded with world access, and it was. So now we'll go and check for existing. If existing.status equals 200. We can use the triple equals. If that's the case, it means the file exists, and it means we can just return the redirection to it instead of downloading it. So this should be fairly simple. Okay, so let's see. Refresh. Oh, it got downloaded like that, which is kind of strange. It's not what I meant. But let me just see here. I'll add a log statement. Exists turning redirection. And here we'll do check if exists. And I'll do a little side-by-side view because I want to see how long that takes to check it. It should be instant to do that head request. Let's refresh. Okay, that looks instant to me. That worked fine, but the problem is it got downloaded like that, which is something I don't like, and I can fix that. And I think the problem here is now that we didn't save this image with the correct content type. So as we get data from the response from Notion, we can also get the content type, and that will be response.headers.get content-type. We got the content type now. And maybe we do, maybe we don't. So we'll do if content type, we'll add it to headers. So as we upload, we'll also specify a content type. Let's go here and let's clean the existing file. Now let's wait for this to rebuild. Did it? I don't know. Let's just force restart. This is clean. So we can go like that. Okay, all right, it opened in the it redirected to AWS and opened in the browser, and here it says, doesn't say anything, which kind of means it was uploaded just now. Let's try it. Okay, that doesn't exist. The URL should be somewhere here. Okay, so now exists returning redirection. So that's pretty good. I think this is it. It goes to so let's just summarize this. This guy will first look for existing file in AWS using head method, which is gonna be super fast because it only fetches the headers. If we get 200 from that, we're gonna redirect to it, and otherwise we're gonna go to Notion, we're gonna load it, also while resize down, and if we get response status to be 200, which means it was found in Notion, we'll take the data, we'll take the content type, we'll upload everything into Amazon S3, and then we'll return a redirection to that file. I'm gonna increase this for to 320 so I can actually use it on my website. I'm gonna clean this up, and I'm gonna go to my website here now. And as I have post list item here, and as I have URL image, I'm gonna implement I'll do return, and I'll do, well actually, I can just do like localhost for now, and /image and /encode URI component and image. So this will go to my local URL for the proxy. So if I go back to post list item, I can just do that right here, make sure to import that, and if I go to my local focus mark right here, I should be able to see the images loaded locally and proxied and all that. But it seems like it's doing something actually. Looks like there are some errors. Doesn't look quite right. No, well, I don't know what happened. I think I know what happened now. Wait, nope. Let's refresh this. Is the server running? As it is. Well, okay, I think we can figure this out. Right now it's still being built. Now it built. So I'm getting 403 here. So it looks like I was redirected there, where I was supposed to, but still getting like 403. And it looks like no images are being uploaded there. No, that's very strange. We'll just take a look here and see what kind of URL we're using here. We're using like the localhost thing, and we're also using, so right here, decode. Does this work? This works. So let's see if this works if I just call it like that. Interesting, I'm getting that access denied thing. That's very interesting. But this is a different hash than what I had before. This is some JPG file, so it's not my thing. Let me remove this file. And let me just see what happens here. Okay, access denied. Oh, actually, I wanna call. Alright, it's being redirected to S3, but it's also getting access denied. And nothing got uploaded. So let's take a look. Maybe it's because of this width setting for some reason. I don't know. Does this is strange. This doesn't print anything. /image / that Notion URL. Let's see if it prints something now. It does not. Why? I know what's happening. I'm thinking maybe there's some caching issue. Let's make sure we got this disable cache thing checked. Yeah, looks like that did it. So if I go and open this with disable cache, yeah, looks like that's working. If I refresh it now, these images just loaded much quicker because they're going straight from S3 instead of going all the way to Notion. Alright, so I think this should do it. That's it. I hope you had fun watching this. Like I said, this was a little bit faster than usual, just because I had done this before and I already knew what I was doing. Okay, see you later.